Charlie Baker's decision not to seek a third term as Massachusetts governor sets up a wide open race in 2022. Even more so on the Republican side now that Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito has also taken herself out of the running. Western Mass News reporter Dave Madsen joins us now live with more on Governor Charlie Baker's legacy and what we can look forward to in the 2022 election. Dave?
It's going to be a wild ride, Chris. Former President Donald Trump and many conservative Republicans here in the state are taking credit for Baker's decision not to run for a third term. But both Baker and Lieutenant Governor Polito say that's not so. That didn't stop GOP Party Chair Jim Lyons and later Trump himself from claiming victory in a press release on Wednesday afternoon, taking credit for pushing the incumbent out. Well, Baker counters that he and Lieutenant Governor Polito want to use their last year in office to get the state back on track after COVID-19 and then spend more time with their families.
You know, there's a lot of time when I might be in the house, but I'm just not there because I'm thinking about or processing or trying to find an answer to some other thing.
Charlie Baker called the announcement a very complicated and difficult decision. It comes near the end of a second grueling year in which his singular focus has been trying to cope with a once-in-a-century health and economic crisis in the COVID-19 pandemic. Baker said the decision frees his administration to zero in on the state's ongoing pandemic response.
One of the main reasons we're choosing to make the decision we made is because we want to focus on the work, and that's what we're going to focus on.
Charlie Baker's first run for governor came in 2010 when he lost to incumbent Deval Patrick. 4 years later, Baker ran again, defeating former Democratic Attorney General Martha Coakley. In his second run for governor in 2018, Baker easily defeated Democrat Jay Gonzalez. Charlie Baker is a moderate who has worked hand in hand with the democratically controlled legislature. Before the pandemic, the state's economy was in good shape with unemployment under 3%. And Baker has been credited with improving some of the state's most troubled agencies, like the Registry of Motor Vehicles and the Department of Children and Families. Baker has reshaped the state's Supreme Judicial Court, appointing all 7 of its justices. During his second term, though, the sudden emergence of COVID-19 pushed much of Baker's political agenda to the side as he and the rest of the state raced to respond to the implications of a fast-spreading and deadly virus. Baker took a series of dramatic steps, shutting down non-essential businesses, requiring the use of face masks in public, closing schools, and issuing stay-at-home recommendations. While some bristled at those restraints, polls showed Baker's response generally earned high marks from the public, although many think there were some serious errors. The state saw one of the nation's deadliest nursing home outbreaks at the Holyoke Soldiers' Home, in which nearly 80 people succumbed to the virus. Critics say investigations of the outbreak, including one headed by a former federal prosecutor who was commissioned by Baker, raise more questions than answers. And a report by the Boston Globe claimed the investigation by ex-prosecutor Mark Pearlstein did not fully explore the decision to hire Bennett Walsh as superintendent or Walsh's qualifications for the job. The newspaper said Walsh was a politically connected hire with no background in healthcare administration. That said, polls indicate Baker would have been the frontrunner in races against the major contenders who've so far declared their candidacies. Polls during his tenure have found that Baker is more popular with Massachusetts Democrats and independents than with Republicans. Charlie Baker's choice not to run could open the floodgates for more major candidates than the 3 Democrats and 1 Republican who've already announced. The Democrats who've already declared for governor are State Senator Sonia Chang Diaz, former State Senator Ben Downing from the Berkshires, and Harvard professor Danielle Allen. Now, Attorney General Maura Healey has made no secret about her interest in running for governor, but wouldn't comment on Wednesday. And former Boston Mayor Marty Walsh's name has also been thrown into the mix. The U.S. Labor Secretary reportedly thinking about running, but there's been no confirmation. Other Democratic names mentioned include former Congressman Joe Kennedy III and Joshua Kraft, the son of New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft and the president of Kraft Family Philanthropies. Jeff Deal, a former Republican state representative, has already announced his candidacy. Deal remains popular with the conservative base of the state GOP, and he has been endorsed by Trump. So buckle up. It could be a wild political year here in Massachusetts. In studio, Dave Madsen, Western Mass News.